Good evening. This is a salutation from Australia, and I am Zachariah. It is another great pleasure to appear before you in another design form, but I remain the same. Your brother, Zachariah. I feel I should just have some time with you, and I wouldn't mind you sparing a few moments for us to just share this. Don't forget, I am waiting for your response. Go to the YouTube site. You will see my contact information. I'm not afraid to talk about my weakness in living up to what the truth demands from me. In fact, I like talking about it, especially when I have failed, so that those who care can avoid it, be it in words, be it in actions, be it in thoughts. Because at all times, I think within me that all these major components of expressions, beginning from the thoughts that no one knows anything about it, wants me to be different, wants me to speak the truth. In fact, I want to confidently say that if my thoughts should ever know what should be in them because of who I am, I think I should be selective in the thoughts that fly into my heart sometimes. In other words, I should be able to tell one thought, come in, and to another, don't come in. I should be able to block so many things, and I should be open to a few, because the fewer the thoughts that stream into my heart, the better my productivity shall be. So I think it can apply to you as well that are listening at the moment, that our truths, the truths in us modulate what we think, what we do, and what we say. When we don't have the truth in us, the mouth speaks fastest and our brains think the slowest. Is just exactly like that. When the truth is in us, the mouth speaks exactly the way we think. In some cases, in most cases, we even think before we speak. That is when the truth is in operation. And that is why it aligns with a particular verse that says, be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Each time I read this verse, I feel guilty because there were places that I spoke. I was angry first before I could even speak. Before speaking, I was angry first before I could even hear. In fact, sometimes even the person that is speaking can irritate me. And I've already started getting angry before I could hear what the person have to say. This is not correct. The correct method of living in this world for those who abide in the truth is evidence in the fact that they are quick to hear, they are slow to speak, and they are slow to become angry. So if I say they can be slow to hear, but slower to speak, and slowest to do what? To even become angry. I'm just modifying it. So where do we belong? Again, I also want to emphasize that what our ears hear can work hard. And that is why the Messiah, I'm not too sure where it is in the book of Mark, said, take heed what you hear. And it is true. Those who abide in the truth take heed what they hear. They are careful to open their ears, and they are careful to allow their ears hear what should be heard. Now put it the other way around. Suppose all of us hear the right thing every day. We'll speak the right thing, and therefore changes will take place. And we think. And so if we think, we express what we think. And let us assume that because we are hidden in the truth, we must think aright. In the midst of why we should think negatively, we start thinking aright. And we start acting aright because our thoughts will always proceed to our actions depending. So let us just think about that. So before me is this one of my quotes. I think I've said this many times and I will keep bringing them on. This quotation, although it has passed through some modifications, it has been there with me for not less than 5 years or so. And when this particular truth came into me, it came with a burden, it came with a heaviness. And the message is what I'm about to read to you. Absolutely feel free to criticize it. Absolutely feel free to correct it. The grammar may not be what you want. Correct it. I just want it to make a sense to you. But at that particular time, even though I've modified it most recently, this is what it says. The truth has a clear, resounding warning to every soul living outside it. Those that take heed save their souls. However, the reckless pay the supreme price. Now or then. Let me read it again because I perceive there was some improper reading of it. The truth has a clear, resounding warning to every soul living outside it. Those that take heed save their souls. However, the reckless pay the supreme price, whether it is now or then. And I agree with this. You know what? For you to be listening to this, consider it a privilege. If you are the one speaking, I will consider it a privilege to get to hear this. The whole purpose of us coming back to the Almighty is centered on the truth. Outside the Almighty, outside our Creator, everything there is the truth of creation. The truth of creation. Just imagine anything that you can imagine. It has been created. And every single thing created is not only unique, but it is a content of its truth. And it must reflect its own truth, whether it likes it or not. And whether it is a living thing or a dead thing, it must reflect its nature. And that is why almost everything that has crossed paths of man has a name. I remember reading some stories in the book of Genesis that after the Creator has created all the animals in the world, the Creator decided to bring them to Adam, the first man to be created on earth, to name them. And I could only imagine Adam naming them. Now, sometimes I ask questions which I don't really have the answer. For instance, what language did Adam speak? I don't know. Or, how did you call a lion? Since I don't even know the language, that is another challenge. How did you call a crocodile when there was no any particular language? And I tend to feel that he was definitely was not an Englishman. And definitely he was not a Mokavul person from Plateau State in Nigeria. So what did he speak? I don't know. Or go ahead to ask further questions. And how many animals were there when you named them? Were they all the species that were named? Well, these are bogus questions that I don't even have an answer, and I should not really be, burden myself to know. One clear fact is that everything created has a name, and that particular name is what it follows after the natural truth about that particular thing, whatever it is, whether it is a person or a human being, an animal or a plant or a sea living thing or whatever it is, it has its own name, and that name defines it. What a wonderful thing. And this is exactly what I'm trying to say. So, since the fall of man, the truth became prominent. Though men decided to reject the truth, and in the initial state of things, let's start with Noah, for example. What happened? That there should be flood that covered the entire world, killing animals, killing human beings, killing plants, killing everything. Definitely, it is because the people rejected the truth. People rejected the truth.